Hello. Welcome back to Delightful Discussions. I am your hostess, Mariah Young, First Impressions of the 48 Days Disc team. Here at 48 Days, we really love to be up on the latest and greatest in company culture and connections with your team. And I have an amazing guest today. And I also have a question for you. Are you making fans out of your employees first and then your audience? Today, I'm going to share with you a guest that I'm super excited about. I know you guys are going to want to make sure that you catch this interview. So grab something to drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And I'll be right back. Maybe. Oh, okay. I am having a technical difficulty here. All right, there we go. We'll be right back. All right, so technical difficulties happen. Thank you for bearing with us. Guys, I am super excited to share with you my guest today. So my mentor, Dan Miller, actually had Jesse Cole, the author of Fans First, the owner of the Savannah Bananas, on a Monday mentor call. And I have to tell you, I immediately became a fan. I love everything that the Savannah Bananas are doing. I watch them on TikTok, everywhere. Like, they're just so much fun. But more than that, they have a method and a concept that I absolutely love. And as I was reading this book and listening to it, I do both, I heard about this person in there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I really want to know what she does. So I reached out and asked her if we could do an interview. And she said yes. I'm super excited to share her with you. So Marie, her story is really fun. So I don't want to take it from her. I want her to share it. But she is a born and raised North Carolinian. She actually joined Savannah Bananas straight out of college. And I know her role has changed probably multiple times since she's been with them. So I'm super excited to hear about that. She is an Enneagram 3, proud dog mom. Me too. Love doggies. And her favorite snack is queso and chips. I think we can all relate to that. I'm more of a sweet person myself. My husband is a salty one as well, but we would love to hear what do you guys love that as well? I just want to know. I'd love queso and chips. So without further ado, I'm bringing to you Marie Matzinger with the Fans First director of Savannah Bananas. So please join me in welcoming her. I wish we had a scream right here. Yay!
Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, so good to have you, Marie. Thanks for joining us.
Sorry.
And I
totally. If you can hear dog mom in the background, so proud of the extra noise here. But she gets excited anytime I say hello to someone else, and she wants to say hello also. So I apologize for that.
I don't mind one bit. I always love having my dog, if I can, right next to me.
Yeah, exactly. There is a door closed, but she gets as close as possible.
What's your dog's name?
Her name is Coda. Yeah.
Coda, cute.
Yeah.
I love it. What kind of dog is she?
She's a mix between a King Charles Cavalier and a poodle. So small and fluffy. Unfortunately, I'm allergic. I love dogs, but I do have an allergy. So the no shedders is the name of the game for me.
Awesome. Yep, that's us too. Yep. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I promised you conversational.
Yeah, totally.
I did send you some questions, and I know we'll probably have some questions as we come up.
Sure.
But can you first share with us your Savannah Bananas story, how you came to work with them, and maybe a little bit about how, what your role is and how it's morphed over the years.
Totally. Yeah. So I joined the Bananas in 2015 before we were even called the Savannah Bananas. So we were just the new Savannah baseball team. And so really what I've gotten to do over the last few years is just see how this organization has grown, seeing how our vision has changed, but our mission has stayed true, and how we've become just even more intentional about what our culture is and truly what it is not, and in that same kind of breath, I guess. And so my role has changed, like you were saying earlier, quite a bit over the last 8 years. I initially came on board as our ballpark offices coordinator, so I helped make sure that we had desks in the offices that we were in, that we had phones that worked, and as in many small businesses, you all wear quite a few different hats. So anything from helping with Facebook to sending out email messages to running our QuickBooks to working with our corporate sponsors, very much like small business. Everyone was really doing quite a few things during those first couple seasons. And eventually my role changed into more specifically being our kind of connection and bridge between corporate partners that we worked with. Back in the day when we used to have sponsorships and advertisements at the stadium, I helped fulfill upon a lot of those promises and build those relationships. And then we took a step away from doing that in 2020, and I was able to really start diving in on our internal relationships with people who are on our team, as well as other businesses and organizations that were reaching out, asking questions, and trying to learn from what the Bananas were doing. I got to kind of help a little bit with what we called Bananas for Business for a bit there. And now my role as Fans First Director is that I really am here to help support our full-time people and our interns. Anybody who is working alongside the team, I'm here to help bring in new people, onboard people, but also make sure that we have the tools that we need to be successful, whether that's certain equipments or certain processes, just be an extra set of eyes and ears and brain, and have a pulse on what's going on within the team, right, within the organization. So that's my role now. I love it. I feel, so excited to get up and do it every day. It's a really cool group to be part of. And it's been fascinating to watch it grow and change from where we were a few years ago to where it is now and where it feels like it's going.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, there's so much within what you said. I'm like, so many gold nuggets. Okay. So I'm really curious, what is the favorite thing about what you do now?
So I think that probably what's kind of rung true over the years, but my favorite part of working for the Bananas is that I feel like we do a really, really great job of making people feel heard. And so even from being fresh out of school, I didn't really know any different, I guess, but like my opinion or my suggestions have always mattered and had a little bit of weight to them. And so I really love that we do that as a whole. And so I think that gives us a lot of it kind of creates a very dynamic environment, because we're not just set on one or two people making decisions and kind of like steering the ship, but that everyone has say and everyone can suggest ideas. And so I think that's my favorite part of what we do, on top of getting to work with just some really cool people.
I think what you said there is so key too, because I think it actually takes some courage to allow your employees, your team, however you see that, to have a voice. I really actually commend that. I think that was a really key point of make sure your people feel heard.
Mm.
Is there a way, and I'm sorry, this was not in the questions.
That's a great start.
But is there a way that you find that is really vital to making sure that your team does feel heard?
I think that the biggest thing that we've done is just carving out intentional time to have those conversations. Like whether or not like you need to bring up something specific, it's just like creating space for, we call them check-ins, but creating a routine, like timing and for checking in with folks and just saying, hey, what are you loving? What are you not loving? If you could do anything different, what would it be? And just asking some of those more open-ended questions. Again, you don't have to wait for the specific sit down to engage in conversation with folks by any means, but I think going ahead and having a plan for when you're going to talk to people and getting it on the calendar really helps to give people that idea of like, okay, yep, there's time. They're going to ask these questions. They want to hear from me. They want feedback. And then, following that, you have to be able to say that you have to build a reputation with your team that if they give you feedback, you're going to act on it. Got to kind of close that feedback loop. It's always good enough to just listen.
That's so good. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I do feel like we could have a whole conversation just on that. It's so big. Creating a safe space where people feel like they can not only be heard, but it might be implemented, honest, open conversation. Oh, so good. Okay, so we'll move on because that totally is a topic all in itself. I'm really curious, what have been some of the biggest challenges in embracing the fans first concept? Because it is not a normal concept for everybody.
Sure. I think some of the biggest challenges is that there's a couple things that come to mind right off the rip, right? I think one of those things is recognizing that we lead with fun. And so there's going to be tons of people who are drawn to that and really get passionate about and excited about what looks like a very fun organization to be part of. And it is. But it's being able to kind of like also know, well, the things that it's not. So it's fun, but it's not fun without, being caring or being, hungry and focused on growth. There's all these pieces that are core values, and they all work together. And so I think that one of the things that was most challenging was identifying those things that fans first is, but also being able to kind of weed out what it's not at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's so key. I mean, I look at a company such as, Savannah Bananas, and I know Jesse drew a lot of inspiration from Walt Disney.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have just that one fun personality leading everything, that's fantastic and so much fun. I'm kind of this personality myself. I love leading fun. But I need those people within my team that help implement the systems and the processes and the things that actually have the structure behind that to make the fun happen.
Yep, definitely. And those processes, that structure, like if you build it with the intention of fun, then like you still have that freedom for that. It doesn't have to always be, hey, get back to work and don't be laughing while you're doing it. Again, I guess I could have talked about this earlier, but one of my favorite things about Bananas is that fun comes with being hungry for creating experiences for other people, right? And so those two things work in tandem. And if we're, just have our heads down and we're grinding and, working really hard, but we're not having fun, like that's not going to cut it. But if we're, just having fun and we're not actually creating great experiences for other people, then that's not going to cut it either. And so it's like finding that middle ground and how they work, I guess just in tandem together.
Yeah. That's so good. Oh, so good. I love this so much. Marie, I feel like I could talk to you for hours. Seriously. I just love this so much. So you guys have created this, and honestly, you guys have a filter too, right? Everything that you do, you're asking, is this fans first?
Yep. So yeah, when I kind of alluded to it earlier, where, our vision may have changed over the last few years, what we originally set out to do in Savannah, we feel like we were able to do. And now we believe in so strongly that we can take that experience to other people as well. But our mission hasn't changed. And our mission is fans first, entertain always. And so we run pretty much every decision we make through that litmus test of, is this fans first? And if it gives you any kind of pause, if you ask that question and you can't just give a resounding heck yeah, I think that's a really great indicator of, okay, hey, maybe we should look at something different. Maybe this isn't the route that we need to take. And, there's a lot of power in having that clarity, but then also trying to like really teach people, okay, well, what is fans first? And using core values to do that, using orientations, using strong onboarding processes to help kind of like double down on providing that description that people are then able to really say confidently, hey, yes, this is, or no, it's not.
Yeah. And I love how that trickles all the way down to, I've actually called the Savannah Bananas hotline because I'm like, I'm definitely going to be getting tickets. Now you guys have the longest waiting list ever, right? In the baseball.
That's pretty crazy. There's some people who are really dialed in on it. It's very fun though.
But even calling, I was so amazed at how, first off, it was Jared Orton's mom who was answering the phone.
Yep.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
But also she was so sweet. And just, from the invoices to the phone calls to everything that you guys do, that fans first trickles down to everything.
Yeah. Yep. I'm really glad that that's your experience. It's something that we really, strive for. And of course there's ways that we can get better at it. We're always looking for, okay, now what? It's this kind of like never ending. Let's celebrate the cool things that we're doing. Let's highlight those things, but then let's also not get complacent and not just say, hey, this is how we're always going to do it, but continue to say, okay, what else can we do for somebody?
Ooh, that's so good. And I think that really goes into the next question really well too, because I find one of the biggest struggles that we're seeing right now in company culture is the trying to get things back after COVID, after the pandemic, after being home. Now we've got, we've gone from remote to hybrid to all those things. And how do you connect? How do you start to get back to cultivating that culture of making sure you're connecting with your
Mhm.
people. I know you guys definitely had to make some changes during COVID. I've heard some stories. Actually, do you mind sharing a little bit about that? And then we
Yeah.
could talk about how you guys are bouncing back now.
Yeah, definitely. So, obviously, well, not obviously, but pretty much, I think in line with most of the rest of the states, at least, March of 2020 was when it really kind of came to a head in Savannah, as far as it became very clear that it was essential workers only that were in person. We were 2 months out from when we were supposed to be playing games for our season that year. We started, I think, in May was when we were supposed to start. And we were sent to work home. Like, our mayor said, hey, if you're not essential, like, you don't need to be in the office. And so we went to a fully remote situation, the way most people did, I feel, and had to totally refigure out what our culture should look like. We started by having our regular Monday morning, staff chat meetings on Zoom calls and in person, and or not in person, but on video. And we kind of kept that routine going. But then we also did an end of the week or a Thursday afternoon. I can't remember if it was Friday or Thursday afternoon, where we would jump on for another hour, and we would do a book club, or we would do like a happy hour kind of thing. I think it was book club and happy hour combined, if we're being honest. And it was this chance for us to see each other's faces, to joke around and like, who made what cocktail, and like, are you on your back porch, or are you in your guest room, or where are you, kind of thing. But still kind of build that engagement and connection. And then I think as we continued to kind of like really figure out like who we are, again, we kept asking like, hey, what's fans first, And so we pretty much took everybody that was on our team, and figured out how we could all become content creators to an extent, not in like a traditional or what we view as content creation now, but more of like, hey, we're not trying to sell things, but let's do something that just keeps people engaged with what's going on. We had different people on staff who we would cook dinner with once a week, where they would just be on their Facebook Live on their cell phone, making dinner in their homes. And a couple people kind of rotated through, just did a couple weeks of that. Now, I don't know how many people, watched or really cared. But for some fans, it was like something to watch, or to stay semi in relevant in people's brain space. Another thing that we did that I feel like was pretty unique was, during that time where we were working from home, we were supposed to have an on sale date for some of our tickets that were supposed to be coming out. We had pretty much knew we weren't going to start in May, but we were probably going to have a very limited capacity in July for people who were comfortable. Fortunately, our stadium is totally outside, so we were able to do the social distancing at like 25% capacity, and have open air. So we had some things working in our favor from that, and had local health departments and leadership really kind of thumbs up that. But one thing that we did was reach out to our fans and say, hey, we know tickets are supposed to go on sale, this week. You're supposed to be getting this message. Do you need more time? Like, do you want to wait and see what things are like, or are you ready? And we took a poll, and it was like 30% were ready and 60% said, hey, I'm not so sure. And so we pushed it. We waited. We didn't just say, hey, we've got to have, from our cash flow projections, we have to have this in at this time. We knew that wasn't what people wanted or needed at that time, and we adjusted. And I think that having our team on board with that continued to kind of leverage that culture that we were creating.
I love that. And now that you guys are coming, we're all bouncing back, right? We're still bouncing back 3 years later.
Yeah.
How have you guys taken, your culture before, your culture during pandemic, and now looking at, everything is new. Sure. Everything has changed. Yeah. What does that look like now?
Yeah. Again, I think we're really in a unique spot. Not everyone can say this, where our fans are involved. Like, we play in open air stadiums, and so we definitely have that working for us. But we also have just very much left it at like, hey, if for any reason you're not comfortable coming to the game, like, we'll give you a refund, no questions asked. It's not sticking people to things or making it feel like it's very much just like meeting people where they're at and being open to the conversation, and taking those extra steps where you can. You may not be able to make everybody happy, or there may be certain circumstances where it flat out is not safe for someone to be there, and like that's that's the way it is at this point. And we've kind of developed our online broadcast. We've got all of our games are on YouTube for free, so if you can't come to it, if you can't get a ticket, if you're not in a spot where you've got an underlying condition, you can't be around that many people, you can still experience some of the Bananas fun through those digital means.
Awesome. I love that. And you guys are really pushing, in every possible way. I mean, I see you guys pushing the normal out.
Mhm.
Like you guys really just try something, experiment. If it works, great. Maybe we do it again. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, we don't.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know with that, many failures and successes have happened, right?
Yeah. No, totally. And it's, I think that you're kind of going back on building this environment, people feel heard. Part of that comes with like taking people's ideas, letting people give ideas and testing them out. And if it doesn't work, it's not, oh, it's because it's a bad idea. It's like, okay, well, what if we tried it differently? What if we do this next time? We'll really feel stuff out several times before we're like, okay, like maybe this isn't the right time for this. But even as we're, taking ideas from other people, we've been really, I think, pretty good about we used to have idea paloozas and we would categorize things in 3 ways, and it was something that is no brainer, we have to do it. Okay, we need a little bit more information on, and then the third one was, okay, just not right now. It's maybe not, maybe sometime in the future. It may not work right now, but it's something that we could revisit at some point. And that, I think, just gave people, again, that safety to bring up something and not feel like, oh, it's going to be rejected because there's no possible way it would work. It's like your idea may lead to someone else's idea, may lead to someone else's idea. And next thing you know, you have a St. Patrick's Day game in July and your players wear kilts, and it just makes sense, somehow.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Well, there's no question that the Savannah Bananas is such a fun team. I'll be honest, I'm not even a baseball fan, but when I saw Jesse and I learned about the team, I'm all in. I'm like, oh, how do we get to a game? How do we get our team here? How do we I just
Right.
wanted,
Yep.
how do we collaborate? Everything. What can we do? Like, it's just so amazing what you guys are doing. And it's not just about what you guys are showing on, on your broadcasts, on your social media. It's so much of what, one of the things that I loved that was talked about in the book is that you guys also go through all of your own, like, customer service. You experience it yourself, so you can find those pain points. And can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So we have, we call it Undercover Fan, where, if you've seen the TV show Undercover Boss, we call it Undercover Fan. And it's where we go and we truly put ourselves in our fans' shoes. And we really see, we look for growth opportunities. So things that can be improved upon, but also like, what are some pros? So pros and grows. And we just kind of experience it as a fan would. So you go in, you work, your office day like you usually do, but then you leave and you come back to the stadium around game time and you go through the line. You're in regular fan clothes. You have a ticket. You go through the line. You get your ticket scanned. You stand and you wait in line for your concessions. You move around and try to find seats and see things from different vantage points and really just kind of look at ways that we can continue to enhance that experience. Again, I kind of mentioned this earlier. We celebrate the really cool things we do. We have this opportunity where people share bits and pieces of their stories and their lives when they get to go bananas. And so we're able to take that and make really amazing experiences for folks, whether it's someone wants to get engaged on the field or someone celebrating beating cancer. Like we hear those stories all the time. And so being able to put ourselves in our fans' shoes and step back and watch those things happen from the vantage point of a fan, we're not seeing where, okay, hey, we're out of this product, or this outlet went down on us and we're trying to figure out how we can run power to a new place. We're not seeing all that. And I think Undercover Fan, it's also led to, hey, things that we don't realize, like how many potholes are in the parking lot when we don't have to park in that certain place. We park in a certain place, but our fans are out near a volleyball field and there's sand and you can't, your cars are bottoming out when you get to it. And it's things you don't realize until you walk the same path your customers or your fans are walking.
I love that. Okay, now I do have, so we're definitely talking, company culture. I do want to, of course, invite our audience. If you guys have any questions, I know a lot of our audience does tend to catch the replay. However, if you guys have questions or anything that you would love answered, of course, I'm sure that we would love to answer those here, as well as I'm happy, if you don't mind, Marie, to pass those along if there are anything that
absolutely
we didn't answer here. And I have a couple of personal questions for you too.
Sure.
So I am just so curious. So one thing that we also do at 48 Days is we do help people to cultivate their dreams and to put together a plan to actually make those happen. So one question I have loved recently, and I only started asking this about a month ago, is can you think of like one bold moment in your life that led you can directly link it to where you are today?
Oh, I think ultimately it was taking the job with the unnamed baseball team going to Savannah in the first place, right?
Yeah.
I was, like you mentioned in the intro, I was fresh out of school. I had plans to go to grad school at
Oh no, hold on. I'm not hearing you. Oh, you muted. Okay, you were right out of school and you
Yep,
were going
right
to
out of school, and had plans to pursue a master's degree through a university near my parents' house, and had an advisor from college call me and say, "Hey, I don't know what your plans are." I had already graduated, but called me at like 10 p.m. on a Monday night, kind of weird. But called and said, "Hey, I've got someone you need to talk to." And so talking to Emily and Jesse and kind of making that commitment to say, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna move to Savannah, sight unseen. I'm gonna accept this job. I've never visited before. I really don't like baseball, but this sounds like it could be fun. And just, I'll get the master's degree online and not worry about the other pieces of things. And it was a big decision because I was never the person in my friend group or in my steer that was ready to move, wanted to move out of state and be far away from family and that kind of stuff. And I'm not too terribly far, but I was never in the plans. The plans were to be back home and to get married and all that good stuff. And it's not how things went, but it's been so incredible to be on a path where there's so much more growth and there's so much more opportunity for me to really come in my own. And I think that taking that initial step of joining a team that didn't have a name in a sport that I really don't care about has really led to where we're at.
That's pretty big, actually. Yeah, you're right. That's such a bold move because, especially, you're not into baseball. You're fresh out of college. You're not planning on. All of that is exactly opposite of what you did.
My parents were like, "You're going to do what?"
I love that so much. Sometimes those bold jumps, those faith moves, right, can just be the very thing that you needed to do to be the person you needed to become.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Another question, and I prepped you with this one. I don't know if you got time to think about it, but I feel like this is, especially considering where you work, this might be an easy one, but maybe not. Is there something fun or interesting or both that you would like to share with the audience?
Oh, so it's one of those things where it's something that fun is so expected where we are. There's so many miscellaneous things. It's hard to bring up one specific example. But I think that one story I'll tell, which is pretty unique and kind of fun, was one day, and goodness, I don't even remember what year it was now. It's been a couple of years now since this happened. But one day we all got to the office at our normal time, probably 9-ish, 8:45, 9-ish. And it was in the middle of season, and we walk in the office and the whole place has been just like the lights are turned out. There's candles lit. There's a mimosa bar. There's like, oils, like natural, whatever the fragrances. And the leadership had actually organized a spa day for all of us, where they brought in people that would give us 30-minute massages and either give us a haircut or get our nails done. And so we were like tucked in people's offices, but like sitting in massage chairs. And had this whole schedule for who was doing what when. And they even had our cars detailed while they were in the parking lot while we were sitting in there. And so pretty fun, super, super unique. Definitely something that speaks to how our leaders like to show appreciation when you're in the middle of a crazy season, is what we obviously with having games and stuff like that. The hours are wild. You're on your feet a lot. And so just having someone looking out for, hey, we're going to have a day of relaxation and we're going to detail your cars for you while you're getting a massage. And we're still, some of the massages were in like one of like the bathroom areas. Like it was still very silly, but like it was still so nice at the same time.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Okay. I'm kind of like, I need to do that now.
Right? Yeah.
I love that. Oh my gosh. It sounds like if you could share with us maybe one final thought on what your experience has been with, your career path, what is something that you would share with somebody?
Yeah. One of the things that it took me for a little while to learn that feels so obvious now, but it took me some time to really understand was to to pay attention and to care about the details, but not to sweat the little stuff, to really recognize like, hey, does this thing did not go right, is it going to matter in a week, is it going to matter tomorrow, and not just carry certain things so heavily. I think it's indicative of caring and really wanting to do a good job for sure when you do hold things very true and take things personal to an extent. But I do think that was something that I had to learn was really finding that balance of like care and do a good job and make it the best that you absolutely can. But if something doesn't go according to plan, don't beat yourself up over it. Just do what you can to move forward and recognize that it's we're getting to have a lot of fun. I'm very fortunate that I'm not a brain surgeon. It's literally not brain surgery.
Right.
So if something goes wrong, like, hey, there's a way to move forward from it.
I love that. That's so good. Oh, thank you so much for sharing today. This was absolutely so valuable. I know I'm going to have people be like, can we have another one? So maybe I do know you guys have some new things happening. I know there's a new book.
Yes. Yep. New book out right now that Jesse kind of wrote in tandem, but it's called Banana Ball, and it's a bit more biographical. Biographical. It shares a little bit more of like Jesse's story and kind of where Banana Ball itself originated. So there's a lot of cool stuff in there, written in a little bit of a different tone than some of the other books that we've put out, which is cool. And then, as far as big things go, we're right in the middle of this crazy world tour that we're in right now. We've done, 33 cities we'll go to over this whole year, as well as playing in Savannah still 30 times. And so making sure that we're still at home and taking care of our fans here and creating that experience. But big things coming up. We'll announce a 2024 season probably in early October and really talk through all the new places that we're going to go and the places that we're going to return to and who's playing where and all that good stuff.
Oh, so much fun. My husband is a big fan of the party animals.
Yes. Yep. They're a good time, man. We had I don't know if we've got time. We had a party animals takeover in June, and it was just so well done. Like, it was so cool. Every inning was a different party. It was a toga party and a pool party, and it was hilarious. It was great.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, we have to find that.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, they're really great. He loves it. We're big fans. And one other thing to share too, that is it's kind of old news probably for you guys, but I think those who are watching might enjoy Banana Land on with ESPN.
Yeah, that was a kind of taking a front row seat into like our first real tour. We did a one city world tour before that, but that was when we started really navigating, okay, what does this look like to play at home and on the road and at home and on the road and take the show with us the whole time. So definitely a good one to dive in on. I think it's on ESPN Plus or Hulu, one of those.
Yeah, I know we found it on YouTube.
Okay.
Live for a little bit there.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
My husband was ready to cancel. I'm like, not until we're finished with
not until we're done. 6 episodes. You can do it. Yeah.
I don't care, but we have to finish. So it's such a great behind the scenes show for sure. So well, guys, if you have any questions for Marie, please send them my way. I know you guys enjoyed this just as much as I did, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay. Please make sure to reach out. And thank you so much, Marie, for being on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Absolutely.
It was so much fun. You really have so much fun information, and really, it's not just about the fun though. It's about the logistics and the processes and the things that happen behind the scenes that are just as important.
Those being in place just allows us to have even more fun.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, I think we'll wrap that up for today, guys, and make sure you join us for our next delightful discussions. Have a fantastic week and live creatively. Bye.